so long as Lucas Wykes isn't around. The spoiled brat's smile quickly fades as he brings in the obvious concern regarding Note's identity. After all, he could easily unmask himself and decide to target the Wykes family under a different identity. The panel has judged for the boy's identity to be recorded right after the sentencing is cleared. They will not inform Lucas's family of his identity either, but only a few conjurers of the guild will keep an eye on the boy's whereabouts. Lucas's temper tantrum doesn't do him well, and he's left disappointed on the side. He leaves Arthur with a warning to stay as far away as possible from him. In response, the masked swordsman responds calmly, claiming that he's nothing more than a pretty boy. Lucas turns away as Arthur is requested to be escorted. However, the panel's head decides it's best to grant the boy his own protection and leads him the way. They go through a secret passage room, and as the door closes, it's revealed that everything was a setup from the ground up. Arthur is glad they compiled. The court is hoping that he doesn't cause any more trouble as they won't be able to contain the truth from the Wykes family for long. Arthur emphasizes that underneath the mask, he's cautious. A secret passageway opens. The panel is hoping that Arthur remembers this favor that was granted to him because they really might need his help someday. The masked swordsman is glad that they chose to support the correct person. He turns to remind him that he'll never forget. And then he walks away. The final impression of this Note character, according to the Elder, is that Caspian was right to call him truly frightening. Arthur reaches for the door handle and opens it to find Sylvie tackling her papa. Both his friends are also there, and it's finally all over. It's time to return home. As they walk together, Elijah asks if it would be right to visit Samantha before leaving. Arthur thinks it's a bad idea for him, but recommends Jasmine to check on her eventually. They reach the gate where Elijah realizes they're supposed to part soon. Arthur remembers that he isn't from the Sappan Kingdom and offers Elijah to come hang out with them before he heads off to school. This man tries to explain what a school is, causing Elijah to get frustrated. He originally never had any ambitions to go to a school, which is why he's surprised for Arthur. The masked swordsman thinks that it would be a wise investment to climb the ranks by receiving an education from the academy. However, Elijah has his objections. He doesn't know how he'll be able to step foot inside the best magic academy there is. After all, there are qualifications, money, and network that come first. Arthur wraps his arm around him and assures his friend that he can take care of the rest. All he has to do is drag himself to the academy, and the rest is nothing to worry about. Arthur tells Jasmine to take their new friend home because he's got something else to deal with for the meantime. There's the issue that Lucas is also going to attend the academy, which is one reason that Elijah decides to go. He is grateful for Arthur's help, having earned a really good friend. With them gone, he tells Caspian to emerge from his hiding spot. Arthur is thankful he got the judge to act the way he wanted. Lucas is blinded for the time being, and the issue has been resolved. However, Arthur is quick to remind the branchmaster that this shithole still resulted in the murders of valuable heroes. Caspian emphasizes that he doesn't want to start a fight. He tosses him a bag, a parting gift for the boy. It's full of gold, the kind of money that could really help him in Caspian's eyes. Arthur thinks he'll only face trouble if he wills it. The only concern is if Lucas has spotted Sylvie before. But in response to that, the creature simply changes into another form. This surprises him as he wasn't expecting her to wield so many transformations. It's just a benefit of having a familiar dragon. Fast-forwarding ahead, Arthur adjusts his hairstyle and decides to enter an inventory shop to buy a dimension ring. The boy acts clueless and lost, so the shopkeeper reminds him about the hefty price of the ring. Arthur decides to showcase a bag full of gold and ends up leaving the man speechless. He foolishly spends most of his gold on a dimension ring that could barely fit his sword and a beast core. Still, with this, his preparations are now fully complete. He books a carriage to the Hellstay Manor. Busy in thought, the boy remembers how 2 years have passed since he adopted his new identity of Note. He gazes at the view and wonders how his school life will go. By night, Arthur has returned home. Ellie angrily stares him down, before tackling her brother mid-sentence. She can't believe that he returned, but she did say it with angry, tear-filled eyes. Arthur's happy and returns her a smile. She relieves him at last and goes inside. Arthur is glad to find her growing up quickly, but a shocking realization hits him. There's going to come a time where she'll date some bozo, and that's just every brother's nightmare. His parents are quick to welcome him in loving arms. Reynolds mocks his son's hair for the only growing factor in his physique. They tease each other lots as Arthur's mother hugs him dearly in open arms. She's just happy that he returned in one piece. The boy apologizes for always worrying her. Vincent and the others are also here to welcome him in. The whole family and friend group shares a circle while Arthur freshens up taking a shower. He realizes that Jasmine left a letter before going on a mission again. He's sad to see her go. Her letter is very to the point and has scribbled out any affectionate words from it, reflecting her personality. He's sad he couldn't see her off. At least he knows about her coordinates. As for Vincent, the man's beaming like an angel to announce that Lilia is currently a part of Xyrus Academy and has been attending for almost a year now. Arthur's glad to hear that. Vincent's family will forever be in his debt for helping their lineage become mages. They never expected it from the Hellstay house. In return, Arthur looks towards Elijah and claims that he's got a request to make for someone. Before that, though, Reynolds is all up and excited to hear about the boys dungeon diving. It's a long story, and he has trouble starting it. Anyway, they get to the really scary bits, and that's how the story concludes. Vincent is left shuddering by the end. They can't believe an Elderwood guardian faced them off, and Arthur single-handedly defeated the monster. The boy is curious to ask about his father's stage. He learns that Reynolds hasn't advanced from the Dark Orange stage no matter how much he tries to purify his mana, so he tosses a beast core to Reynolds, recommending to use it. He did use some of its energy to heal, but the rest of it is intact and powerful enough to break through the level. Reynolds hesitates to take this gift as this is something Arthur risked his very life for. None of them could imagine him gifting an S-class beast core, as it would reap a lot of profit. However, the boy has his priorities straight and wants his father to catch up to him using the beast core. Reynolds has a striking realization that his son has surpassed him by achieving the light orange stage at last. This gives him the strength to grasp the beast's core, promising to beat his son the next time they duel. The father-son rivalry just never ends. The same day, Elijah's having a relaxing shower when Arthur foolishly barges in to deliver his pajamas. He doesn't seem embarrassed even a bit and leaves quickly while Elijah slams the door shut. The boy observes his mask and reflects how so much has happened in 2 years. Sylvie agrees even though she grew taller than her papa. Elijah comes out from his shower and asks what took him a while. Arthur explains that he was talking to Vincent and helping him get sponsored for the academy. Elijah is excited as Arthur closes the door while confirming that everything is in the green. That night, the dwarven boy is full of excitement that he'll get to be a student of the academy. He wonders if they'll have enough opportunity to learn. Arthur expresses that they're super powerful for their age group, so it might be a boring experience if anything. Even so, Elijah can't wait to encounter powerful rivals and awakening greater powers. Arthur thinks the best benefit for him would be information regarding his 2 deviance affinities. Lightning especially exhausts his mana, while ice is hard to control despite his beast will. Worried, Elijah asks how they'll handle Lucas. For the time being, the spoiled brat doesn't know about Arthur's identity, which is good since he only wants to challenge his entire family when he's ready. Glasses Boy is surprised that he can hold himself that much. On the other hand, Arthur can't figure out why Elijah is so shy that he built a pillow wall between them. He teases the kid and receives a body pillow smacked in his face. Curious about relationships, Elijah asks if he'll be able to score a girlfriend at the academy, which comes as surprising to Arthur. He thinks the nerd will end up finding a nerd girlfriend, and then they'll have Jimmy Neutron for a baby. It will be a nerd family, basically. On the other hand, Elijah is easily confident that our boy will be the Riz Master 69 at the academy with his lethal face card. Arthur assures him that girls their age aren't his type, so there's nothing to worry about. Both of them head to sleep after that. Arthur wakes up and runs into Vincent, who came in contact with an inventor called Gideon, known for being one of the most accomplished in his trade. The inventor will return to the city in 3 days, allowing them the chance to make a detour before meeting everyone in the city. Arthur's okay with that idea and wonders if something is happening in the downtown area. Vincent tells him that the royal families of all 3 kingdoms will make an important announcement which will be broadcasted in the downtown square. The boy is glad that Uncle Vincent over here is giving him so much of his time. Arthur's interested in a meeting with Gideon, and he's ready to use the knowledge of his past life in action. Vincent's confused until they run into Reynolds, who reminds the dude that he's got an important meeting to catch. The auction house owner bolts off, leaving the father-son duo together. The old man has officially broken into the solid orange stage. Interestingly, the beast core refused to crumble even after he absorbed everything from it. He leaves it in his son's care before thanking the boy for his help. Later that day, Arthur finds himself perplexed. He can't place how the jewel didn't crumble. It's only when he meditates and sees the haunting image of the towering beast that he realizes that the beast still exists inside the core. Let's explore how beast wills work. These things are powerhouses that seriously ramp up the intensity of the user. They're only obtainable via a powerful mana beast passing on their will. This makes Arthur excited as to what would happen if he integrates 2 beasts. He tests that theory out by meditating and interacting with the horrific Elderwood Guardian. His body is enveloped in a coat of purple as Sylvia's will manifests and terrifies the giant. Arthur breaks free of the experience and has confirmed one thing. The 2 beast wills are at odds with each other. He wonders why his father couldn't absorb the whole of the crystal. The kid suddenly remembers that a large factor is dependent on one's compatibility. So now, he's absolutely certain of the person he should grant this beast core to. He wonders how Tessia is holding up. The next few days flew by like nothing. He continued training and enjoyed a fun time with his family like any ordinary kid. One day, Ellie came to inform her brother to eat breakfast, but she could hear him knocking him cold talking in his sleep. It's the day of the announcement, so their mother wants them to get ready. Ellie is getting pissed and she decides it's a good idea to slam her brother full force, knocking the daylights out of him. Arthur teases her for learning weird habits for a lady, while Ellie reminds him to catch breakfast while she's gone. She hums away while our boy is left wondering why his sister has to be so damn violent all the time. Skipping ahead, we see both Elijah and Arthur deciding to check out a few stores. While our boy may be hard stuck with his savings, Elijah has been keeping his savings intact. The boy suggests his bond to follow Elijah while he chats with the inventor. Later, he and Vincent go and greet the inventor, whose butler scares them both. Himes leads the way, when suddenly Arthur catches a musty smell that stops him dead in his tracks. The old butler thinks he's asking the wrong question and should instead focus on what isn't a smell. The inventory pops out his clothes, looking like a zombie who hasn't showered in 2 centuries. He's furious at first, but quickly realizes that it's Vincent who's come here to meet him. The inventor Gideon expresses his annoyance with meeting people nowadays, as he's got over 12 messengers from the royal family coming to him. They've all tried their best to coerce him to travel the ocean for his abilities. Arthur questions why they would ever try to do that, which only makes the inventor more pissed. Anyway, Gideon wants to know about the pipsqueak that Vincent has brought along. The boy introduces himself in good manners as one of the Lewin family and admirer of Gideon's work. The inventor seriously doesn't like the fact that Vincent brought him here regardless, as he doesn't like taking disciples under his name. The auction house owner expresses that it's rather the boy who wanted to come here on his own. Arthur uses this opportunity to express that he's got an offer, and is willing to take care of the fact that this musty, smelly bastard has to travel safe distances over the ocean. The inventor is listening, so Arthur grabs a chart and starts drawing away. Gideon belittles the boy for drawing a bunch of doodles until he finally sees what's on the canvas, causing him a great deal of shock. Gideon's expression worsens every second as he reads the concept of an engine powered by steam and generated by external materials, an idea that not even the great inventor himself could come up with. However, even with this idea, he feels as if something is missing from the equation. Arthur expresses that he intentionally left out important details, which he would be interested in sharing as long as their negotiations are finished. The inventory quickly realizes that this smiling boy isn't just any ordinary kid. He swipes off the feeling and requests his butler Himes to show the boy something worthy of his knowledge. The chest opens to reveal a brilliant ironized diamond in all its beauty. But Arthur isn't impressed. The inventor explains that this gem is one of the most valuable on the planet, and can store 5 times its size through mana. However, Arthur is disinterested as the object has little to no use for him. Gideon thinks it's time to bring out the big guns and shows the boy a whole bunch of valuable items. Among the pile, he takes out one mirror that is so special he hasn't shown to anyone. The boy coldly turns down each one of his suggestions, causing the inventor to drop the mirror in utter disbelief. If Alfred the butler wasn't here to catch it, they would have lost it permanently. Vincent sees how Arthur consistently turns down the great inventor himself. It gets to the point that Gideon is throwing shit at our boy to just take something for once. Vincent can't even comprehend what's going on anymore. Forced into a corner, the inventor thinks the pendants are the only options left. The butler reminds his master of their original worth, but he's snapped now. Himes quickly rushes to fetch the pendants and comes back a moment afterwards with 2 boxes. Both are snapped open, revealing the best pendants made possible for the likeliness of the royal family. Arthur inspects the object in his hand, realizing that it was made from a phoenix worm, his impressive knowledge astonishing Gideon. Not even Vincent knows about them. Gideon explains that phoenix worms are a race of S-class mana beasts typically considered just as rare as the existence of dragons. They're known for their ability to preserve their existences, which is how they were able to store the same ability inside the pendant. It's a cool concept, as a phoenix worm is capable of protecting itself in the face of danger. It causes a protective shell conjured around the person it is supposed to protect. The best part comes after the shield breaking, as the mana stored inside the pendant will be consumed by the wearer, and transporting them to the safest location in their mind. It's just the perfect defensive artifact. Arthur questions how many times he could abuse the ability to his advantage. The inventor can't tell, but he's wasted 5 precious Phoenix Beast cores, which are typically considered the most valuable of the S ranks. He points out his fingers and thinks the artifact should be good enough to use twice. The boy is thinking of both his mother and sister considering the effects of the object. Also, he quickly remembers that these were crafted for the royal family. The inventor confirms that they were responsible for donating the cores after all, but he doesn't care much about that. All he cares about is Arthur's special little idea and what the boy is aiming for. Arthur acts like he just wants to give his sister a good birthday gift, but even Gideon can tell he's lying under his skin. The boy adds one condition to his knowledge, stating that he won't reveal any information unless he knows the intentions of the inventor. Gideon thinks it's pointless since he'll find out soon in the announcement to come. Arthur points out the shortcomings of the speeches reserved for the masses. He wants to hear the cold, hard truth from the inventor himself. The inventor wonders if he'll drop the deal for the pendants if he just tells his goals. But Arthur is relentless in his negotiations and isn't planning to back down either. Gideon is out here begging for him to just take one instead of two. In response, Arthur wears a happy little smile and lights a torch in his hand, threatening to burn the drawing he just made. The inventor realizes he's dealing with a highly capable brat. Vincent pounces in vouching for the boy's promises. At last, Gideon is done and decides to leave the pendants in the boy's care. He talks about how only last year, they came to shockingly entertain the idea of there being a second continent beyond Dicathan. This information stuns Arthur. While Vincent can't believe the rumors are true, he was informed by an employee of the royal family who told him not to pass information on. Gideon's confirmation just now has added another layer of truth. The boy goes deep in contemplation and asks for proof of certainty. The inventor is nearly offended that he thinks they didn't compile evidence for the fact. He sits down on his chair to explain everything in detail. It turns out that they discovered a unique artifact attached to a mana beast a few years ago, an artifact never seen before on their continent. It had the unique ability to camouflage completely, blending in with the world. Vincent is shocked and wonders how they were able to catch it. Lady Luck favored them that day as one adventurer aimed to strike down a squirrel and eventually struck the bird instead. They found an artifact attached to it that was so complex not even the great inventor could figure out its intricacies. The purpose of the artifact is not revealed to anyone unless they're from the royal family, so Arthur threatens him by threatening the blueprint again. Now pissed, Gideon reveals that the artifact efficiently records moving and still images with ease. The boy is curious if that's everything. Vincent thinks it's the best kind of proof, but Arthur doesn't get how that could work as it could be made by any inventor in the Dicathan continent. The auction house owner explains that he's already introduced him to one of the best artificers known to the world. It just so happens that Gideon is at the top of the list for being the greatest artificer the continent has ever seen. But our boy out here is seriously doubting this guy's reputation, causing Gideon to lash out, claiming that he's living proof of the fact that there can't be a secret artificer like Arthur is suggesting. The boy outlines how foolish of an idea it is for the royal families to conclude that there's another continent based on Gideon's inability to comprehend the artifact. The inventor agrees and adds that the same artifact had recorded images of all the three kingdoms, complicating the matter. Arthur's calm reaction sends this dude's temper flying as he highlights the dangers of stronger and better mages and inventors on the opposing continent. Our boy confirms that he's already well aware of the dangers, but he doesn't want to imagine hypotheticals. Instead, he's ready to showcase how the steam engine could prove the existence of a new continent or not. Later that day, Vincent remarks how Gideon's the happiest he has ever been, ever since receiving the blueprint. At the same time, not even the auction house owner can envision a steam engine powerful enough to move a large ship across the ocean. Arthur thinks it's only natural for the people of this world to have completely become dependent on mana and forget about the capabilities of technology. Vincent goes ranting about his own crap, while Arthur zones out recalling how he could easily manipulate the use of a harmless technology in exchange for a good weapon for his family. Still, the fact that there's a second continent outside their own makes him excited. Sylvie communicates with him, telling Arthur she's coming to see him and Big Glasses Boy, which is Vincent. Elijah's done shopping around and reunites with the group. He simply cannot wait for the announcement to come regarding the unification. Arthur knows for a fact that the unification is definitely because of the discovery of the continent. Vincent acts like he already knows about the contents of the announcement. All of a sudden, Elijah